Our current nursing issues presentation is on men and nursing. Beginning with necessity, during the American Civil War, men were needed as nurses to care for the wounded in the field. They didn't really want women in the field just because they were thought of as dainty and people who couldn't really put themselves out there as much as the men could. As well as throughout the 18th and 19th century, male nurses were utilized in the care of mentally ill, while female nurses mainly took over jobs such as caring for sick and elderly. The divide between male and female nurses. Nursing wasn't always predominantly female. Before Florence Nightingale, most nurses were actually male. And male nurses served on the front lines during World War I and the Civil War as orderlies, but they received just half of a female nurse's salary at that time. The challenges that men have faced throughout history while in nursing positions. Men working in healthcare were presumed to be homosexual, and many people in the workplace tended to question their sexuality. This created less of an appeal for men to become nurses, so instead they would opt for other healthcare professions. The presumption of men and strength created jobs for male nurses circling heavy lifting and less focus on holistic care, which was left to female nurses.
Stereotypes today. So historically, nursing has been a more female-dominant workforce, leading to many stereotypes about male nurses, and some of them are that all nurses are female, male nurses are studying to become doctors or failed doctors, male nurses are homosexual, and that they go into nursing because it's easy. Carl A. Brown, a registered nurse, said that as a nurse, but especially as a male nurse, you need to have a strong outside to let those comments bounce off, but you also need to have a warm heart for those who hold prejudices. I think that it's important for people to know that my gender does not prevent me from providing quality care to each of my clients.
So I was able to find some really good quotes of some modern examples of male nurses in the workforce today, one of them being a man named Devin and also Ross Blair. What I loved about what Devin said is that male nurses bring such a different aspect of nursing to the field. He said he loves being this older brother type of person in the field that women nurses don't necessarily bring into the career. And I feel like he truly represents the savior in that way, as he is the older brother to all mankind. I also love what Ross Blair said. His perspective on nursing was profound to me. He truly discovered that nursing was his calling in this early life. And no matter the earthly stereotypes, God has a work and a potential for all his children.
So there are lots of benefits to being a male nurse besides obviously caring for the sick and working in that department. But some of those include opportunities to grow in your education and your job. Not only can you be a registered nurse, but you can go on and become a nurse practitioner or a nurse anesthetist. All these can give you a variety of working in different atmospheres. One benefit of being a nurse is, like you heard in a quote, you're able to provide some security that for patients that some can't come with female nurses, such as male nurses doing catheters or helping them go to the bathroom, things like that. You also get to be a part of adding diversity to the workplace and being a part of a movement for equality. And that really brings a lot of joy and helps going along with caring for others. And obviously there's the financial benefits. The more education you do, the more specialties you go into, obviously the more you can make.
Okay, so the big question, why do we need male nurses? So with male nurses, they have seen in hospitals that they are able to provide representation for male patients, which obviously a female nurse can't do. And there are gender-specific health conditions which will be better addressed. And with that comes greater patient outcomes. They've seen that when male nurses work with female nurses to take care of female patients, that they get more experience. And the same can be said if female nurses work with male nurses. Also, there is currently a nursing shortage, so bringing more men into the field will obviously benefit everyone. Also, as mentioned before, there is a stigma, and if more men are brought into the field, it will show to everyone that regardless of gender, everyone is equally capable of providing excellent care. Male nurses make such a small portion of the workforce, and so hopefully as we incorporate more males into the force, there can be a greater surplus of nurses.
So something you can do to help create awareness for the shortage of men in nursing is you can always be encouraging. Don't, like if you're in a hospital or clinic or anything, don't display preference for one gender or the other. You're getting quality medical care. And don't view men in nursing as, a failed doctor. They chose that career path for a reason. So don't try to presume anything. Just accept them for the career path that they're in. When suggesting careers, don't hesitate to suggest that a man go into nursing. It's an extremely rewarding career that has many, many benefits. And lastly, don't specify a male nurse or a female nurse. They're only nurses. They're all can give you the care you need.
Thanks you guys so much for listening. Hope you learned more about men in nursing.